And welcome back to this special edition of Hannity. Now, Hunter Biden has been under federal investigation now for years. And as we know from the laptop from hell, there's plenty of evidence against him. So why has he not been charged? Well, this week, an IRS whistleblower came forward to allege that Hunter is getting special treatment from the feds. Now, the whistleblower's attorney also says his client has information that will contradict the testimony of a senior official who we now know is the Attorney General, Merrick Garland. And according to one report, there is growing frustration within the FBI that Hunter Biden has not been charged with anything, despite the fact that evidence shows that he could be hit with at least tax evasion, failure to file his taxes, lying on a gun application form. And we're also hearing tonight that Hunter Biden's attorneys are meeting with DOJ officials next week, including with the U.S. Attorney for Delaware, who is overseeing the tax case. But this isn't the first time that someone in Joe Biden's orbit, covered for Hunter. We also now know that Secretary of State Tony Winkin Blinken was instrumental in crafting that famous letter denouncing Hunter's laptop as Russian disinformation. 51 former intel guys, right? Okay, so apparently if your last name is Biden, you get a free pass no matter what. If your last name is Trump, anything you've ever done, if you spit on the sidewalk, if you jaywalk, everything's fair game. Here with reaction, Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett and newly announced 2024 presidential candidate Larry Elder. Are you out of your mind? I mean, I have to ask the first question. Why are you running for president? Who wants that kind of scrutiny in their life?
Our country is in trouble, and if good people stay on the sideline just because they're afraid of scrutiny, we lose our republic. That's why I'm asking people to go to my website, elderforpresident.com, and throw a little something in the tip jar. But, Sean, real quickly, it's got to be abundantly clear by now. O.J. Simpson will find the killer or killers of Ron and Nicole before the Hunter Biden investigation is concluded. What's outrageous about this letter is not just that 51 people signed, senior intelligence people, and that Tony Blinken led this thing. It's that they know it was a lie because the DOJ had the laptop on 2019 and they knew it was authentic. Regarding the IRS whistleblower, I am shocked there aren't more whistleblowers. We didn't need a whistleblower to know that Garrett Marlin was dragging his feet on this kind of thing. He doesn't want him investigated. It's a two-tiered system of justice. It is outrageous, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to be rolling out a plan to deal with these soft-on-crime DAs like Bragg in New York and Fox in Chicago and Gascon in L.A. and the others that are taking federal dollars but are not enforcing the law.
All right, Greg, the 51 former intel guys, they knew nothing about this laptop. They didn't know a thing.
Right.
And Tony Blinken leads the way. And my question is that legal? Is that election interference in any way? Is there any crime possibly associated with this?
Well, it could be very much like the 2016 election and the actions of Hillary Clinton. Look, this is the second presidential election in a row in which Democrats, aided by government officials, have perpetrated a dirty political trick in order to rig the election. In 2016, it was Hillary's invention of the Russia hoax, which the FBI then peddled to the media to damage Trump. Now in 2020, you've got the Biden campaign that Tony Blinken convinces Mike Morrell to get 50 other intelligence officials to lie. They knew there was no intelligence information, that this was Russian disinformation. This was a political operation, and it worked. When Joe Biden held it up in the last presidential debate and said, see, look at this, my son's innocent, that influenced the election unduly. Americans were deprived of the full amount of information they needed, and polling data shows it made a difference.
Could there be a quid pro quo here? In other words, oh, you do this for me, I'll make you Secretary of State?
Oh, yeah.
Of course it could.
Is it any wonder that Tony Blinken was given the prestigious, coveted job of Secretary of State? Mike Morrell didn't get the job he wanted, which is CIA director. Maybe that's why he's now suddenly decided to come clean and expose the corruption.
Right.
Larry, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, and the scary thing, Greg and Sean, is but for the computer store owner making a copy out of this saying, we probably never would have known about it because, as I said earlier, the DOJ had this in their hands since 2019, and they did nothing with it. We never would have known about it at all. Talk about election interference. Are you kidding me?
What about the IRS whistleblower seeking protection now, Greg, and implicating the Attorney General, saying he may have lied under oath to Congress? How real is that charge in your view?
Well, this is obstruction of justice by the Department of Justice. Obstruction in the criminal code says corruptly impeding and influencing a legal investigation. Well, that's what the whistleblower describes, that two U.S. attorneys appointed by Joe Biden, answerable to Merrick Garland, came forward and stopped the criminal prosecution of Hunter Biden over his influence peddling schemes that implicate the President of the United States. That is, if it's done for a corrupt purpose, political favoritism, political interference. Yeah, that's obstruction of justice, a felony.
Do you see this going anywhere, Larry?
I do, and this is not the only whistleblower. There have been whistleblowers within the DOJ, within the IRS. There are going to be several of them going forward. The issue is whether or not the non-Fox media will give a rip, and the answer is they won't. You cut on CNN, MSNBC, as I watch often, and it's like this doesn't even happen. This is probably the most corrupt administration I've ever seen in my lifetime. If the Trump family had one fraction of this kind of filth on them, it would be nonstop on the non-Fox networks. The question is whether or not the rest of the country knows about it, and all too sadly, the answer is they don't.
So favorable treatment from Garland, Greg. We'll give you the last word here. And then Tony Blinken gets 51 former intel guys to lie to the American people about the laptop of Hunter Biden, and they're all going to get away with it. They'll all get away with it.
Yeah, because the fix is in. This is like a rigged card game where Merrick Garland and Joe Biden are dealing from the bottom of the deck. They're in control. You know, David Weiss, who wanted to file the charges against Hunter Biden, went to Merrick Garland and asked to have him elevated to special counsel status to give him independence and autonomy, which Garland promised in his testimony. What did Garland do? He said, absolutely no. That tells you everything you need to know about this.
All right, Greg, thank you. Larry, we wish you the best. I think you're crazy, but I'm glad you're in there for all the right reasons. We appreciate it. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.